What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. So I want to make a video and kind of give you a breakdown of what I go through with ADHD. A lot of people have it. You know, people say, some people will argue and say it's not real. I really believe that it's real. First, I want to apologize if you hear any background noise. I'm currently working. I work as an electrician, so, you know, I go to different businesses, and I'm right next to a feeder road, and I'm right here to Starbucks, and the line is backed up like all the way, so I'm blocked in at the moment. But on a good note, they gave me free coffee. That's the beauty of working as an electrician. You go to different Starbucks and different sites, you know, sometimes you get free stuff. So, you know, they gave me a free coffee this morning, so that's a plus. But I wanted to kind of go over a few things and just kind of give you a breakdown of what I struggle with having ADHD. A lot of people will say that, you know, people fake it, people use it as an excuse, you know, to do things, not do things, whatever it is, you know, and I'm here to tell you, it's real. It really is. I mean, I have a daughter that has ADHD, and that poor girl struggles so bad with a lot of things, and she's worse than I am, because she has the impulsiveness. There's different levels of ADHD, so I really feel that ADHD is overlooked by a lot, because you can still be very successful and have ADHD. A lot of people are very successful. I mean, I have ADHD, and I'm a journeyman electrician trying to get my master's license. So a lot of people struggle with it, but can still succeed, you know. So people kind of overlook and think that, you know, a lot of people use this as an excuse to not do things or to not reach their goals, but in reality, it is a struggle, and there have been struggles for me, even reaching where I am today. You know, being an electrician, I tend to always lose my tools. I always misplace things, and say I go do a job, I have a bad habit of going back and forth to my van or my truck and getting material, tools, whatever it may be, and going to my workspace and still forgetting something, and I have to go back and forth for one job, sometimes 3 or 4 times, and it's so frustrating. And I even take it out of my tool bag or whatever I'm grabbing, and I forget it. So there's still things that I struggle with. So earlier this year, I started to dive more into like medication and see how it works. And I've only made a few videos on this channel, but if you've tuned into this channel, I have a few subscribers. You know that I have tried a few of the medications that, you know, that's for ADHD, which is Vyvanse, Concerta, Ritalin, Focalin. I've tried all those medications, and for some reason I seem to do well the most with name brand Concerta. That is my go-to. That is what I'm currently on. I take 36 milligrams a day, and I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 months. Now, prior to wanting to get diagnoses, I seem to struggle a lot with completing tasks. I am married, I have kids, so my wife is always saying that I don't follow through with a lot of projects, especially at home, until it's like really, really serious. Like our bathroom, the floor's coming up, and in my kids' restroom, and they tend to leave the curtain open. So sometimes water gets onto the floor, and I guess over time it weakened the floor, and it started to come up, and next thing you know, it's seeping between the tub and the flooring, and it's dripping down to the first floor from water. And I knew about this, and I just kept putting it off and off and off, and not caulking the tub or reflooring it until it really became a problem. And so when it finally became a problem, my wife got mad. When the situation got tense, that's when I said, okay, and I just went for it full-fledged. I changed the whole floor. It took me about 5 hours, but the whole point is it had to get to that point before I finally fell through with it. And that's where I struggle, is I tend to put things off, and it's a struggle. So that is the reason why I started getting into, you know, more information about medication, and it seems to have helped me a lot. I mean, every day is going to be different. Some days are off, some days are fantastic. You know, that's just the way it is in life in general. But in just a few days, I'm sorry about this noise. This noise is distracting me. I'm trying to keep my thoughts clear here. But in just a few days, which is what tomorrow is, 31st of December. So on Thursday marks 1 year no alcohol. So prior to medication also, I was a really heavy drinker. And by heavy drinker, I mean heavy drinker. Not necessarily liquor, but it was getting to a point to where it was, you know, it was every day. And I almost feel like it was something that I was chasing to fulfill that, like, natural dopamine deficiency that ADHDers tend to lack, which is dopamine production. Because I feel like people with ADHD are more prone to being addicts because they're chasing that dopamine, and that's, you know, the happy hormone, that's the feel good. So I feel like I struggled with alcohol for a long time. You know, I started drinking when I was 17 years old, and I am now 40. I just turned 40 this year, and I just quit drinking at the beginning of this year. So it's about to hit a year, but I feel like the medication is really, for some reason, I don't have any urge to want to drink. I don't know if the medication has anything to do with it, but prior to quitting alcohol before, I feel like it was a struggle. I would still have days where, you know, I couldn't stop thinking about alcohol. Alcohol was just something I always went to for everything. You know, a hard day's work, upset, you know, being mad, being happy. Like, I couldn't go out and do stuff without the thought of drinking. It was getting to a point to where even my kids, you know, my kids' events, like my son is in band, and he has band competitions, and their band always makes it to finals every year. And whenever they make it to finals, their schools play into like 11 o'clock at night, and every single time the only thought that would come to my head is, I'm not gonna be able to drink, or I better get to the store before they stop selling so I can, you know, have it ready when I get home and I can down these drinks. You know, the whole point of what I'm saying is, I feel like the medication has really got that under control to where I don't strive for that feeling no more. And I'm about to hit a year no alcohol, and that is a record for me because of how much I turn to alcohol for everything. So I really feel like the medication is helping in more ways than one. And for anybody who's looking to try medication, I feel like it's worth a try. Now, it's not all created equal. You have some medication that may work for you and not work for the next person. We're all different. But yes, I have struggled with substance abuse all through my life. But luckily, the substance abuse prior to alcohol was not really, it didn't last as long. Alcohol seemed to just be one of those things I couldn't put away, I guess because it was legal, and I knew that, you know, having a family, it was more, I don't know, it was just not looked down upon like the harder drugs would be. So I know I'm rambling a lot, but I'm just trying to fill you in on a little bit on who watches my channel, a little bit about me. And since my last video, I've talked about Concerta and taking name brand. And if you are looking to try medication and you do try Concerta, I would definitely I would definitely recommend the name brand, not the generic, because I feel like I had bad experience on generic. But like I said, it's different for everybody. But anybody out there who's struggling with the condition, I just recommend going in and looking for some help, you know, and maybe medication. Medication is definitely a good choice out there, and I feel like it really helps a lot of people. And so I'm thinking about putting some more videos out, maybe daily videos. I'm trying to be more positive because I feel like positivity is very important when it comes to life. And me, I don't know if it has a lot to do with the condition or not, but sometimes I can be a very negative person, and I'm working on that too, because, you know, it's really easy to be negative. It's hard to be positive sometimes because of so many things that life throws at you, so many situations that you go through in life that just don't seem fair. They don't seem like they're, you know, I don't know, it's just kind of hard to explain, but I really feel that positivity is what people need. I'm gonna see if anybody kind of, you know, tunes into this video and sees and kind of go from there. You know, I'm thinking about, because I feel like making videos, getting feedback, commenting with people, I feel like it really, it's almost like therapeutic, you know. It's like interacting with people who go through similar things, because, you know, most people who watch these kind of videos are going to be people who I'm sorry, are people who are struggling with the same thing. So I'm not going to keep talking, because if you have ADHD like I do, you're probably distracted by the background noise like I am. So I'm trying everything I can to kind of stay focused, and there's so much going on. That's why you see my eyes moving, because I have a tendency of like focusing on every little thing. So I'm trying to stay tuned in. But anyways, guys, that's enough about, you know, all of that. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. It's kind of like a random rant, and I just kind of want to hop on and do something, because I know people are subscribed, so I didn't want to like leave you hanging. You know, if you're you know, cool enough to subscribe to the channel, then I should start putting out content. So anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and if you have any more suggestions or any comments or any questions, leave them down below. I appreciate it very much, and I hope everybody these cars, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one.